With a new season comes a new balance patch, and with a new balance patch comes a new meta. What was overpowered last season may not necessarily be as overpowered this season, since they may have been nerfed, or other heroes may have been buffed to counteract how broken the overpowered heroes were last season. Not only that, there may be new additions to the hero roster like there were this season. Enter Wuyong, the newest hero to spice up the meta in, many ways? Yeah, he's a little bit stronger than I first initially thought. I'm sure a lot of you have seen Crazy Raccoon's Chorong's Wuyong and how cracked he is as a hero in the pro scene. But until you've witnessed Orisa Tracer Wuyong, you don't know just how batshit the meta is. So, how does this work? How and why is this the new meta? Well, since the most common pairing with these three, at least in the Korean OWCS, is Kiri or Ana and Genji, it means we have a weird hybrid of a rush/dive comp. The weirder part about this comp is that Wuyong doesn't really play with the rest of his team, instead taking a much wider angle and focusing more on damage than healing. Since his damage output is really good, he kinda just dumps his water ring on whoever needs it the most and plays from far away, making it so that to take him out of the fight, the enemy team has to use a bunch of cooldowns. I'm going to use Busan Mecha Base as an example of what to do as Wuyong because this is exactly what Chorong did in a match against Team Falcons. He played more towards point whilst the rest of his team were on the high ground engaging in the team fight. But he wasn't being utterly useless because A, he was healing whichever teammate needed healing, and B, he was controlling his shots to hit enemies from where he was stood more towards point. The only difference between the current meta in-game and OWCS is that people have adapted the formula from Winston Tracer Genji as the frontline to Orisa Tracer Genji. But why have we changed out Winston for Orisa? Well, it's pretty simple really. Whilst Winston has a lot of self-survivability and can dive in to stun enemies with Wuyong's ult, Orisa and Wuyong is ultimately the better pairing because not only can Orisa do basically everything that Winston can in terms of self-survivability and rushing in, she can also pull enemies into the fight with her ult and in turn get a few kills on stunned enemies. She's also good at pushing enemies back and making space for the rest of the team to play in, meaning Wuyong and Ana can play on these weird angles and Tracer and Genji can push up a lot easier and apply a lot more pressure to the enemy team. Now, I'm not a fan of Orisa metas because I just generally don't like her that much as a hero, but this is miles better than the Ramatra meta because good lord that was boring. I love stalling point for 10 years like I'm a support from Marvel Rivals. It's so fun. Speaking of Ramatra, you might be wondering why you're seeing less and less of him. Whilst he was really strong last season, he's a lot weaker this season because they finally fixed his block. He used to be able to tank a Bastion in turret mode, shooting through BAP window just by blocking in Nemesis form. Yeah, it wasn't a tad bit strong, it was quite literally broken. It's just a shame because I like playing Ram and I think he could work well in a comp with Wuyong because of his rush/brawl kind of playstyle. But I also think he's not in the best spot at the minute when compared to tanks like Orisa. Don't get me wrong, he is still good, but unfortunately not good enough to be in the meta again. They didn't take him out back and shoot him, they just kinda chopped off his arms. Anyways, that just about does it for this video. Now, I never really thought Wuyong would shake up the meta this much because I didn't expect him to be this strong. Obviously on the trial weekend we realized his primary fire is really strong, but now that we've properly got him in the game, we now know truly just how strong he is because A, he's received his buffs, and B, we've had more time to play around with him and learn how to truly play him. I think the past week especially has been eye-opening because the OWCS is back in full effect, which means we've been able to see what the pros do with him to make him a truly broken hero. His abilities are strong, yes, but knowing how to use his abilities and get the full benefits out of them like the pros do is infinitely better. It's like the secret sauce. Everyone's had a taste of it, but only a handful of people know how it's truly made.
This is cum!